Welcome back, everybody. Take a break with Stephen, Mr. Stephen Shamus.
I like the sweatshirt there, Alex.
The vintage, the
Old
classic.
school.
Oh
That's
yeah,
the
I'll be
old
able to.
school logo.
2 more years, I think I can get about $60 on eBay.
They don't make those anymore.
They don't make those anymore. No, they stopped making them very quickly too.
Very quickly.
Yes.
All right, what do we got today, Alex?
Yes, we're gonna go back into the indie world and kind of hit a bunch of stuff that's being picked up. We're gonna talk about Calculated Man, Rogues Gallery, Union Jack, which is not an independent book, and then Smallville season 11, which is going to shock and surprise many people here, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
All right, what are we starting with, Alex, today?
A Calculated Man, which sounds like a 1980s movie, like some kind of like mystery drama movie, but it is not.
It's a brand new series, and it's gone right to Hulu.
Yes.
What's going on here?
So this is an Aftershock book, and these have been, Aftershock has kind of been in, I wouldn't say IP farm, that's not the way I would say it, but they're making books to sell, and they have a department specifically for this. Paul Tobin, who does a lot of their stuff, great writer, started this book, and it's all the series are very easy to digest concepts. So this is about a man who is works for the mafia, and he is like a mathematician, like he does all this stuff, and he kind of calculated his way as like, oh, the only way I would be able to leave my job is if I get killed, or if I turn in state's evidence and go into witness protection. So he turns into witness protection, and then the mob is mad, of course, and they go try to find him, but little do they know his calculated mind has been watching things throughout the years, and he's able to be an effective killer, and kind of like outsmart them at every turn. And this is just a series about that.
Interesting.
Yep.
Okay. So Calculated Man #1, Alberto Albuquerque cover from June of 2022. There are 44 9.8s. It's only a $60 book in 9.8. Obviously, it's a brand new book. Like you said, Paul Tobin's story. Then there's Anthony Spey AA Comics and Cards edition. There's only one 9.8. It's about a $30 raw book. It was limited to 275. Very small runs here. Then there's the Dave Altman variant cover. There's only one 9.8. It's also limited to 250, $20 to $25 raw. Then there's the Javon Jordan Comic Mint foil edition. There's only one 9.8. That's about a $30 raw book. Then there's the Ricardo Drummond Whatnot variant cover. Only one 9.8. That's a $35 to $45 raw book. Then there's the ECGCE. I think that's a comic shop.
It's like an online group. They're like a fans shop group. Yeah, like a
got it. Only one 9.8. I couldn't find it anywhere. Do you know anything else about this or no?
It was a metal cover that was only available through their website. So it's very, very small amount.
Very small amount. Then there's the David Mack metal edition. There's only two 9.8s. That's about a $50 raw book. Then there's the David Mack variant cover. There's only five 9.8s. That's a $25 to $40 raw book. And then there's the Andrea Moody 1 in 15 retailer incentive edition. There are seven 9.8s, and that's a $20 to $25 raw book. So these books are carrying pretty good price tags for a book that's only 10 months old or whatever it is at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, what do we got next, Alex?
Rogues Gallery, but not a Batman book.
Right. It's going to be starring Don Cheadle, right?
Yep. He's attached, and it's interesting. It's an interesting book. I really like the way that this book has come about and is kind of going down the route. So it is Rogues Gallery is about an actress, a TV actress who fights villains on TV, like a Batman 66. And she comes home to find that there is people coming to attack her, and they are dressed as the characters on a TV show, and she kind of has to fight back. So it's a story of her, fighting these characters from her TV show and realizing she's got to do all this stuff. I think it's great because it's written by one of the nicest people in comics, Hannah Rose May, who is also an actress who was just recently in Ghosts. She was one of a character in the TV show Ghosts.
Okay.
But she was at New York Comic Con. Super, super nice person. And it's funny because, it's when somebody from TV writes comics and then sells it to TV, it's like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. You have all the connections.
Right. Got it. Okay. So Rogues Gallery, the Declan Shelby cover, July of 2022, also only from last year. There are 33 9.8s. It's only about an $80 book today. Again, it was just announced. Hannah Rose May, as you said, and Declan Shelby story with the Justin Mason art. Then there's the Justin Mason Golden Apple Comics edition. There's two 9.8s. One is actually sold for about 125. Then there's the
Wow.
Flops Third Eye Comics edition, 9.8. That's about $130 book. That's limited to 500. Then there's the Zoe Lacoche Trinity Comics edition. There's 12 9.8s, and that's about $125. There's the Tula Lotte variant cover B, 4 9.8s. That's about a $75 book. And then the Justin Mason variant cover C, there's only one 9.8, and that's a $5 to $10 raw book.
Yep.
All right, Alex, pick of the week. What do you got for us?
I went down a rabbit hole, as I do, of promo items. I love promo items.
Yeah, I know. You talk about promo items.
That's all I talk about. It's almost gross. But there's, I'm like, oh, let me look at some new promo books. And then there was like a promo book. There was a Nintendo promo book that went with a poster. And I was like, oh, I haven't really looked at, Nintendo promo stuff. I think I've got a couple posters somewhere. And geez, we're in the wrong business. We should have owned a used gaming store. Like, we should have both opened up a one of those GameStops and just kept everything that the Nintendo sends. Some of these promo displays and stuff from like 2003 and 2012, it's just it goes out of control. So like a Nintendo Wario World 2003 promotional poster sold for $400. Like, wow. This stuff is like out of control. There was a Star Fox 2002 survival kit, just like a promo thing they would hand out at conventions, selling for $300. Like, those
are probably one per store, right? Probably all the stuff was one per store.
It might have been one per store, yeah. But I mean, how many Targets, Walmarts, Toys R Us's, GameStops, and other places
got tossed in the garbage?
Exactly. This stuff is like I remember at one point when I think Wolverine Origins came out, there was a poster at Blockbuster. Yeah, there were still Blockbusters of like Wolverine Origins, and like it was outside, and I kind of somehow the wind blew it into my hands, and I took it. And it was hanging up in my apartment for years, and I probably threw it away. I mean, I don't know. That's, I'd probably get $60 for it now if I was thinking about it. But yeah, that stuff's gone. Like, you can't find it. And if you're a completist and like you have like the Wario World game and you want everything that goes with it, you're gonna have to pay big bucks. Stuff's nuts.
Right. Okay, cool. So what are we gonna talk about next, Alex?
I think it's our first time really diving into Invaders, so we're gonna talk a little Union Jack.
Right, and Olivia Colman is rumored to play, I guess, a gender switched version of this.
Yeah,
so we're not really sure where it's going to go in terms of the character and which series people are going to go after. But we could talk about the character a little bit before we talk about the gender switch.
Yes. Union Jack's been a Marvel character for a while. People pretty much, once you see that the costume, you know who it is. It was, for a while, it was a family heirloom. So like James Montgomery Falsworth was the first one, Brian Falsworth the second one, World War I to World War II. And then it was picked up by Joseph Chapman, who just so happened to be hanging out in the castle that day with his friend, and ends up becoming Union Jack in the modern era. Nothing too crazy with their background. I mean, there was a little bit of super soldier serum used with the second one with the Brian Falsworth, but it just made him a peak human performance. He didn't have Captain America type strength, but I mean, the character's been around since since Invaders, and has been around the Marvel universe for a while. I love Olivia Colman, so more of that, please. And having different characters coming into the Marvel universe. I'm very interested to see if she's going to be like an active Union Jack, or like she used to be a Union Jack and now she's a spy or something.
Right. So we're gonna focus on the original Union Jack tonight, but I'm sure it's at some point Marvel will recreate the character similar to what they did with Captain Marvel, and people will go towards the newer versions, but
Yeah.
we will talk about the older versions today. Invaders number 7, July of 76, 21 9.8s, 59 9.6s, 52 9.4s, and 9.6 recently sold at 300. It is the male version, James Montgomery Falsworth. Supposedly the last name is Falsworth, so we don't know if it's going to be a niece, sister, some iteration of that. Originally appeared in Captain America: The First Avenger. The character did appear as a male in Captain America: The First Avenger. First appearance of Union Jack and Baron Blood. Roy Thomas story, Frank Robbins and Vince Coletta art, Jack Kirby and Frank Giacoia cover. There's a 30-cent and UK variant as well. Then you have Invaders number 8 from September of 76, 29 9/8s, 55 9.6s, 34 9.4s. That's about a $650 book in 9.8. It's the first Union Jack cover. It's actually a great cover. It's a tremendous cover. There's also a UK price variant. It is a Jack Kirby cover. It's a phenomenal cover, Invaders number 8. Then Invaders number 18 from July of 77, 51 9.8s. It's about a $450 to $500 book. First appearance of Brian Falsworth as the Destroyer. I guess that's the son who later becomes the second iteration of the Union Jack. And then Invaders number 19 is August of 77, 15 9.8s. That's about $150 to $175 book. First appearance of the new Union Jack in the cameo on the last page. Also 35-cent and UK variants are available. And then Invaders number 20 from September of 77, 19 9.8s, 32 9.6s, and 9.6 recently sold for $200. That's the first full appearance of Union Jack, the second. Again, we don't know which iteration. She's probably going to play some niece, daughter, or some version of these characters.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if these are the books that are going to take off until Marvel actually makes the gender switch in the comics, but these are the ones to keep an eye on.
Which is definitely coming.
Yes, which is definitely coming.
Yes.
All right, what are we closing out with tonight, Alex? This is going to blow your mind.
Smallville, season 11.
Any idea why in particular these books are going crazy? Is it just the runs on the books?
Without literally asking why people are buying them, I can see as a 3-prong attack, right? It's a continuation of the TV show, so the fans want to read that. I'm sure the TV show got canceled. I don't think they ended it. I'm pretty sure it was just canceled. So, this is going to be like people that want to continue on and figure things out and read it and everything. But if the viewership wasn't there, then my third thing is it had to have been low ordered. But I mean, there's
great
been a cover.
Pick up on buying of this book.
Yeah, I think people are realizing A, it's low printed and hard to find, and B, it is, it's a Superman book that is hard to find. Like, you're just not going to find 9/8s in the wild.
Yeah, I mean, look, maybe people are bringing these to the shows and having Tom Welling sign them. Maybe that's just it.
I would love to see the print numbers on these. It's got to be in the 10 to 15,000.
Yeah. Okay. Smallville season 11, number 1, Gary Frank cover, July of 2012. There's only 4 9.8s. It's $100+ raw book.
Jeez.
Brian Q. Miller story, Perez art. The second print is rare. September of 2012, 3 9.8s. It's a $350 to $400 raw book. Be well over $1,000 in a 9.8 if you can find one.
You can't
find
it.
Find those books, by the way, out in the wild. I think they're out there.
Yeah, I think you could find, you go to your random comic shops that have old bins, you can start looking. Yeah.
I think you could find those books out there.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. Well, thank you for joining us this week. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the field below. Otherwise, we will see you next week. Same bat time.
Same bat channel. Bye, guys.